looking at this fab deck tank for a water leak. Customer said they thought the pump had split. Anyway, there's water coming out around that hose around here. I took this out and it's all rotted inside, and it's got a steel wired reinforcing in there, and I thought it's where it's rusted, it's getting in between the layers and coming out the end. So I've cut a bit off the end of the hose, tried it, and it was still pouring out of there. Anyway, I felt round and I could feel the water was actually coming out the bottom of this. And if you look here, you can see daylight. Probably poke a screwdriver through from the other side. What I think's happened is that's fallen out of the inlet to the pump. I think that's got dropped in the tank and it's made its way around the pipe, got sucked up into the pump. It's smashed the impeller up, and the little bits of plastic whizzing around have worn a hole in the casing. Which is going to be fun. I mean, I normally would have just took the pump off and stripped it on the floor, but I can't get this nut undone. It's just spinning, which is why I've took it apart in situ, thinking I could get away with maybe just changing the bottom housing. But where this is all chewed up, this bit here should have another piece on it. Should look like a brake disc, like a vented brake disc. That's what's left of the front of it. So we're going to have to try and get this nut undone or cut off. We might have to grind it off. So it's like a 10-minute job. It's going to turn into a couple of hours, I think. And it still needs a new bit of tube anyway. That needs doing. Right, I've got the wires disconnected. That's the dump valve. And the other wire's tucked up the top here. That's right. What I'm going to try and do is undo these other bolts here. And that's a profiled piece of aluminium. It's like a dowel shape, a dovetail rather. If we get these loose, we might just be able to slide the pump up or down to get it out. We've got to slide these brackets off anyway to fit them on the new pump. So don't send them with the brackets anymore. They've changed the design of them on the newer ones. This is an older tank, and they've moved that box is now on the front. You see, it's a different angle. It's at 12 o'clock. They still fit on there. They probably fit on there a bit better. Anyway, we'll get these bolts undone, see if we can slide it up or down. That's getting there. There we go. Get there in the end. Got two more to do. Right, we've took the bolts out of that one because they come loose, and then we've slid that one out with just have to tap it a couple of times with a hammer. And then this one, once the tension's off, there we go. It's just slid out, as you've seen. So we'll put some grease on this. Then we'll try and slide the new motor back up. Normally, just like I say, you just undo these, but that's it looks like a steel bolt into a bit of plastic nylon, and it's just spinning round. Got to spin the pump head round. That wants to be pointing in that direction. It's got to go around by 90 degrees. I've got the pump bolted on. I'm going to spray a load of grease over those bolts in case it's me that comes back in 10 years time to change it again. Anyway, I've just put the dump valve back on. What are we having there? that is the other end of that pot by the look of it, so we'll have to take this apart, see what other bits and pieces are caught in there. Right, got the pipes all back on. We've put a new rubber tee, that's the old one's all perished. We've put a new one on there. I've put that pipe at a bit of an angle so it lines up better with this. They've had they've changed the outlet size on it from I think it's 2 inch to 3 inch. Then it's reduced to 2.5 here. But having a 3 inch tap and everything makes it flow a lot quicker when they're emptying it, the tanker. Anyway, what I was just going to say is on these they use the pump terminal box as the joint box for the dump valve, so you've got to remember to drill another hole in there for the other cable gland, which if you haven't got an angle drill you want to do before you fit the pump. You can't, well, you could just about squeeze in the top, I suppose. If you didn't, you're better off coming in the side. Right, I've got that all wired back in. You've got a live for the motor, neutral. Also use the same neutral for the dump valve, and that's the live for the dump valve. Always put some silicone around these. I don't trust them when they're vertical. Right, we've checked all the cable ties are tight. Chemical tubes are still on there. Sometimes they'll pull off when it's had the weight of that stainless hanging on it. Anyway, let's get in test mode. That's cold valve, hot, acid, alkaline, agitate, pump, there we go, dump valve, hypo, it's on there but it's not used, and then the reverse, agitate. Let's put it on the wash. Looks fairly clean in there. I've probably washed it out manually. Just wait for the pump to fire up. That's the agitator. The pump should start fairly soon. I missed the start because phone rang, but yeah, that's doing the first rinse and it's dumping at the same time now. That would be washing all the milk residue out before it starts to wash proper. Anyway, we'll leave that going while I'm packing up because I've just had an emergency call in for another job.